Snow White. In a faraway land lived a beautiful princess named Snow White. She had a stepmother who was a vain queen. Her stepmother used to look into her mirror and ask, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?" And the mirror would answer her back, "You are the most beautiful of all, O Queen." As the years passed, one day the queen asked her magic mirror as always, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?" But this time, the mirror responded by saying, "The fairest of them all is Snow White." So the queen, full of anger and jealousy, searched out a hunter and ordered him to bring Snow White to the forest, kill her, and bring me back her heart in this golden chest. When the hunter reached the forest, he felt sorry for the innocent young Snow White, so he let her go and used the heart of a javelina instead. Alone in the forest, Snow White felt scared and cried. She walked through the forest and continued crying for the whole night until the sun came up and lit up the whole forest. At that point, she was able to see a beautiful house. She entered the house without thinking twice. All the furniture was very small, and the table was set with 7 little plates and 7 little sets of silverware. She went up into the room and found 7 little beds, and the poor girl, absolutely exhausted from walking all night, put all the beds together and fell right to sleep. In the afternoon, the owners of the house arrived, 7 little dwarfs that worked in mines nearby. They were shocked to find Snow White in their house. Snow White explained her sad story to them, and, feeling sorry for her, they invited her to stay with them. She agreed to stay and live with the 7 dwarfs, and everyone was pleased. Meanwhile, back at the palace, the queen asked her mirror again, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" "It is still Snow White," said the mirror. "Now she lives in the forest with 7 dwarfs." Absolutely furious, the cruel stepmother disguised herself as an innocent old lady and set off for the little house in the forest. When the queen arrived, Snow White was alone, because the dwarfs were out working in the mines. The mean old queen offered Snow White a poisonous apple, and as soon as Snow White took her first bite, she instantly fainted. When the dwarfs returned home that night, they found Snow White unconscious on the floor. They thought she must have died, so they created a glass shrine to put her in, so all the animals in the forest could say goodbye to her. As everyone was saying goodbye to Snow White, a prince riding his faithful horse arrived. As soon as he saw Snow White, he instantly fell in love with her. He gave her a kiss, and with all of his love, she woke up from her deep sleep. The kiss from the prince had broken the spell of the vain queen. Snow White married the prince who saved her, and together they drove the queen out of the palace. Since then, they have all lived happily ever after.